Well, when schoolgirls fell ill after receiving the cervical cancer vaccine Gardasil, there were fears it was causing a bad reaction. But we've been contacted by an expert in the field, a Sunrise viewer, who says the technology behind the drug should mean there are no side effects.
Well, how does it work? Dan Lipin from Queensland University joins us now to explain. Daniel, good morning to you. Now, of course, anyone watching yesterday would know that you wrote us a great email and said that you guys sort of, in order to get to the bottom of this, got to ask the right questions, because we sort of had different arguments, some saying it caused reactions. Dr. John came on and said a lot of the girls were fainting because they were purely nervous. So you're here to tell us, Gardasil, how is it different from other vaccines?
All right, thanks, Mel and Kashi. Firstly, I want to clarify, I don't represent Merck, Gardasil, or Ian Fraser's group at the University of Queensland. I'm a PhD student researcher at the university working on the technology behind Gardasil. And so I just thought if people had a much better understanding of the technology itself, they'd be a bit more comfortable with it.
Okay, tell us about it.
I'm going to try to tell you about it. Okay, very simply, this is what a virus looks like, except 1 billion times smaller. Now, the way a virus works is all it wants to do is replicate itself. So how it works is the inside of a virus contains DNA or code for how to make a virus, and it's protected by this outer shell. So when the virus enters your body, it'll swim around your bloodstream, and it'll get into a cell, and then the shell will open, and the DNA will go into the cell and say, stop what you're doing and make more of me. And so the cell will do that. It'll make more virus, and then the virus will leave the cell, go to other cells, and make more of itself that way. And that's bad. Now, we want to stop that, and the way we do that is by vaccinating ourselves. And the way we vaccinate ourselves is we teach our body to recognize this shell so that whenever it sees it, it'll destroy it before it gets into the cell and does its damage. Now, how they do that traditionally is they take the virus and grow it in eggs. They grow it in raw eggs, and then they suck out the egg insides, and they add chemicals to break this virus into millions and millions of pieces, and they inject that into you. And when that enters your bloodstream, your immune system recognizes these little spots, these little pieces that are floating around, and that build an immune response. And so when you get the actual virus in you, the immune system says, I recognize those spots, and it destroys the virus before it enters your bloodstream. Now, Gardasil is a revolutionary new technology, because what they've done is they've actually found a way to manufacture full shells with no DNA inside them, no code. So the advantages are twofold. Firstly, when you put this inside your body, there is no chance of you getting infected by the virus, because there's no DNA or code inside the shell. It's
just
a blank.
the shell.
It's like a blank gun. It's
like a
just
blank bullet.
a car without an engine. Blank bullet, car without an engine. It'll flow in your bloodstream just like normal. And when it enters the cell, it'll break open, and there's no DNA telling the cell to make more virus. So that's the first advantage. And the second advantage is that it's a logical advantage. The body is much better at recognizing the full thing than millions of little pieces. So you're actually showing the body what the real virus looks like, as opposed to breaking it up and trusting the body to put the pieces together and make the connection. And that's why Gardasil technology is so revolutionary and so intelligent. And while I can't guarantee, and that's it. That's what inspired me to come on this program and let you guys know about it.
Now, Dr. Dan, can this technology be used for other vaccines?
Yes, yes, it can. The whole concept of removing the DNA and just producing the shell is a very generic and brilliant concept. So there's actually research going around the world to try and use this technology in the treatment of many other viral diseases. For example, a company in the States is actually producing a bird flu vaccine based on this technology, which is currently in clinical trials.
That is
Dan,
fantastic.
you have explained it.
Dr. Dan.
Dr. Dan, that is wonderful. Thank you, because like I said, there was a lot of people really nervous, really worried, saying that they weren't going to get their follow-up vaccinations. So hopefully they can go away and take the information that you've shared and they can...
Because you're saying they can't get a reaction because the virus isn't being put in there. It's a blank.
No, I'm not saying that. That's the most important thing that you clarified. I cannot give a guarantee. I cannot give a guarantee about the safety of Gardasil because I am not in a position to do that. The question is, how is the vaccine, the new generation of vaccine, safer than the older generation? Now, the questions of safety and reactions, that is a question for Merck, for Ian Fraser, and for the Australian Regulatory Authority and studies like that. But what I want to do, and this is the important factor that I want to make, is the question of how a drug works can often encourage people to be more comfortable. In order not to get ripped off when you're fixing your car, you do basic understanding of how your car works. You don't go into the detail of the electronics, but you have a basic idea of how the pieces work and how the things work. And you should be able to do the same thing with your body. You don't have to be a PhD student to understand this. That's what I wanted to try and get across.
Knowledge is power. Dr. Dan, you're wonderful.
Why is it so? You've explained it for us. Thank you kindly.
And thanks for the email yesterday.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, it was good.
Talk to you again.
You're welcome. See you later.
Bye. There you go. 7:20 later on this hour, Koshi.
What I've grown for Big Cruise.